Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I must say good afternoon to our wonderful young people gathered here in this auditorium. I greet you. I also greet the wonderful organizers of this event. I greet our great teachers and indeed everyone gathered in the auditorium today physically and everyone who is attending this event virtually. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. The joy of the Lord is our strength. Yes. I am delighted to be speaking to you at the Bridge Repairers Leadership Summit 2025, just for teenagers. I would have loved to be there with you in person, but I'm glad I can still share a brief message with you through this video. Over the years, I have found that the Lord has arranged my circumstances such that in every facet of my life, I work with young people like you. As a mother, a grandmother, the superintendent of the children's department in my local church, as a medical doctor who has specialized in child and adolescent psychiatry and mental health, I work with young people. I work with young people with emotional difficulties, with various forms of difficulties. I work with young people in every facet of my life. Most importantly, I remember my years as a young teenager who attended a school just like you. From September 1973 to June 1978, I attended St. Louis Grammar School, Mokola, Ibadan. And it was from there I did 2 years of advanced level studies, and then I gained admission into the University of Ibadan to study medicine. So I fully understand the importance of this period of youth and the need to nurture young minds and help them grow into confident, responsible, resourceful, and purpose driven adults. Indeed, as I look back to my years as a teenager, I am fully convinced that these are the most important years. They are a great determining factor with regards to your future. The decisions you make now will really help to determine the pathway of your life. I am grateful I was able to attend St. Louis Grammar School, Mokola Ibadan, as a boarder. We were just 300 girls in the entire school, and we were very well cared for. I know things have changed now with the schools. The difficulties I had are quite different from your difficulties. The advantages I had, I know, are quite different now. This is a quite a challenging season all around, and I'm aware of the challenges you all will be facing. The schools are much larger, populations are bursting, things are very expensive. Then we didn't have the issue of internet as a distraction or as a benefit. So a lot has changed in the world since I left secondary school, since I left my teenage years. But I still believe that the principles of leadership that I learned would help you. I believe very strongly that my teenage years helped to prepare me in many ways for what I am today. I'm told that the theme for this year's event is empowered for change. And I say your attitude now will determine your altitude. Your attitude now will determine how far and how wide and how, yes, how high you would fly. Very, very important. Empowered for change. I love that theme. And it reminds me of the vision of the bridge repairers. And for today, I like to think of it in terms of what I call the 4 R's. Be responsible, Be respectful, be responsive, and be resourceful. Yes, be responsible. In my teenage years, particularly, in my years in boarding school, I learned to be responsible. We had a lot of structure. Wake up 6 a.m. in the morning, clean up yourself, go and do your service. I remember when I was in just Form 1, I was working in the toilets in the school. I would fetch 6 buckets of water every day on my head, carrying it from the field up the hill. In my second year, I worked in the refectory, the cafeteria where we used to eat. I used to scrub on my knees and wipe with a big towel. I learned to be responsible, to look after my property. I learned to move from place to place, and this has really helped me to be structured, to be responsible. So, this is the time to cultivate good habits. Now I can clean any toilets very well. I know how to tidy up, tidy my environment, take care of myself. Responsibility will strengthen your sense of personal growth, and it is a great thing. I learned to be respectful. Oh, yes, we had reverend sisters looking after us. I would always stand with my hands behind my back and say, "Good morning, sister. Good morning to my teachers. Good morning to my seniors." I learned to be respectful, not just to my seniors or to the teachers or to the principal, but to everyone. Respect is not just about honoring elders, it is about recognizing that everyone, whether young, old, rich or poor, male or female, is deserving of respect and dignity. Everyone carries value. And when you respect others, you affirm that value. Respect begets respect. But more importantly, respect gives you joy. Respecting others gives you fulfillment. Respecting others makes you feel good. When you value others, then indeed you value yourself. Yes, respect is very important. I learned respect in my teenage years. I learned to respect my parents. My father had died, but I learned to respect my dear mother, who had very little in terms of income, but I knew she was struggling to take care of us. And I respected the fact that she had little, and I did not make unnecessary demands. And I felt good in myself. And I still feel good in myself about that many, many years after she has passed into eternity. I learned to be responsive. What does it mean? Cultivate from now solution oriented mindset. Responsive. If someone was sick in school, I would see how best I could make them comfortable. I would see how I could care for them. And from when I was in St. Louis, the principal recognized that I was responsive. And many times she will call me to go with her to the University College Hospital Ibadan, right from when I was in secondary school. And that was when I started to realize that I would likely have the path of caring for the sick, caring for the weak. And that is what I've been doing for so many years now. Responsive, responsive. Even on the roads, when I eat, if I'm having a snack, I don't throw it outside on the street. I Once I finished it, I put it in my bag. When I get to a place where there's a dustbin, I put it in there. I am responsive to my environment. I want my environment to be beautiful. If I see paper on the floor, I pick it up. If I see a tap that is running, I find out how I can sort it out. I have learned to be responsive, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel great. I go around and find out what's the problem here and join hands with other people to prefer solutions. Very important. Then the fourth R, resourceful. Resourcefulness is so important. When I was a teenager in St. Louis Grammar School, we had a wonderful music teacher, Sister Galgani. And through her, I learned to sing, I learned to play the piano, I learned to sew. I learned the guitar. And then in other subjects, I learned how to sew. Learned how to sew chain stitches. Up to now, I use these skills. I learned how to plait hair. I learned how to run. I used to run from my school. If I went up to the point I was running for Ibadan Barakba, I learned how to dance. I learned how to sing. I learned drama, how to act plays. I learned so many wonderful things that I'm still using up to today. It is wonderful. I learned. I did not allow my teenage years to pass by, but I was able to develop my talents into treasures, and then I can use them. I made the best use of the time. Of course, there were some times when I was naughty, I didn't do the right thing. But by and large, I'm delighted about my teenage years, my adolescent years. I learned a lot to set me on the path of leadership. So be, yes, very, very important. Be responsible, be respectful, be responsive, be resourceful. These are great virtues that would help you on your journey as a young person. Finally, I want to thank the bridge repairers for the honor of launching the Teachers Award in my name. I am deeply, deeply, deeply honored, deeply humbled. I celebrate the teachers being recognized today. I'm a teacher myself. Even though I'm a medical doctor, I'm a lecturer in the university at the University of Ibadan, the College of Medicine, where I teach psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry. I teach medical students. I teach other health professions. So I'm a teacher. In fact, in all areas of my life, I teach as a mother, as a grandmother, in the children's department of my church. As I move around, I'm constantly teaching. So I'm a teacher, but I celebrate you teachers who day by day are doing great things to nurture minds and change destinies. I celebrate you today. I celebrate our winners. I read your profiles and I consider you worthy winners who exemplify the best of your profession. Indeed, you are nation builders. I hope this recognition inspires more teachers to see how vital their work is. Teachers are role models, nation builders, shapers of young lives and destinies. I'm delighted that this will become an annual event. Thank you, organizers. And I look forward to the years ahead when we will continue to say to our teachers, we see you. We value you. Your reward is here. Yes, here on earth, as much as it is in eternity. I feel truly blessed and I celebrate everyone present today. Please have fun, learn all you can, and keep shining brightly. Remember the 4 R's. Be responsible, be respectful, be responsive, be resourceful. Yes, be resourceful. Make the best use of every opportunity you have. Learn and learn and learn. Everyone, yes, I appreciate you and may God bless you. Amen and amen.